Hey there, happy Saturday for wherever you are in the world. I wanted to jump online with you now because sometimes taking the bull by the horns and stopping procrastinating and getting stuff done now, in fact always, is far more important than trying to bank something or leave something till Monday or do any of those other things that we may well end up putting off for tomorrow. What I want to talk about now is around a few points and in a conversation that I've had in a coaching call for 2.5 hours this morning with a client of mine. And I think this is of critical importance to all businesses, regardless of your shape or size. And I'm going to talk to you about for anybody from a Fortune 100 business through to a department in a business of that size, all the way through to somebody who has got a small business or even as a commission-based salesperson. And it's of such importance. At this point in time in our world, what I'm experiencing is that the usual theory bases that our coaches, consultants, other people we take advice from around the world, the usual theory base they rely on is currently years behind what our consumer behavior is. And what I'm experiencing is large quantities of businesses that have been successful are on a decline at this point in time and are using things like a recession as an excuse for why their business is in decline. Even though when you look at some of the most profitable businesses in the world and most profitable people in the world, what they will recognize is that they make more money in an economic downturn than they do in an economic upturn. So this is of critical importance to you, no matter what it is that you do, what it is you'd like to do in the future, and that is how to solve a decline in business. Now, there's a lot of usual things that people go and do with a decline in business. Is often they go and increase sales targets and they push their sales workforce harder. They ask for 10% on last year, 20% on last year. They push. And often when that happens, what I'm experiencing right here, right now, is that still those sales targets are not met. In fact, most businesses, when they're in a business decline, struggle to get sales up because you see that the sales are not really the problem. I mean, of course, they are the problem. We're not getting the number of sales that we like, but it's not necessarily sales' fault, although they are responsible for not having dealt with the problem at an earlier level. Now, we can learn a lot about this from the sigmoid curve, which says that a business starts off over here somewhere and has a little bit of success. Times get hard, they have more and more success, they plateau, and then we experience a decline. And what the sigmoid curve suggests is that we need to go and restart the sigmoid curve somewhere about here. So we need to innovate, we need to recreate, and we need to go and start again even when we think that we're in success now. We want to keep riding that success train. By the time we get to any form of plateau, actually the sigmoid curve suggests that unless we do some radically different stuff, that it's too late. And so what I want to talk to you about today is what is some of that radically different stuff that you need to do. And I've got 8 points that I'd like to talk through. The point number 1 is really significant. Whoever is making decisions and taking advice from people at this point in time is the people giving the advice have to change now, and the person taking the advice has to go and look for a new sort of advice. That means that if you're currently taking advice that's financial and actuarial, you need to go and look soft psychology, human behavior. And if you're currently taking advice that's all around human behavior, quite possibly you need to go and twist that towards financial and actuarial advice. Number 1, and you have to execute on whatever that new advice is, because the old advice is what's holding you back. Number 2 is you need to get to know your customers again. Not the customers that you want to have, not the customers that you believe you should have, the customers that you've already got. At this point in time in the world, in almost every business, customer behavior is changing faster than your business is keeping up with. At around the rate of 6-to-1 at this point in time, in terms of a ratio of how fast customers are growing and how quickly your business is moving. Get to know your current customers. And by that, I don't mean some facts and figures. I want you to know when your customers under stress, what decisions do they make? When they're under happiness, what decisions do they make? I want you to get to know your customer on a personal basis, as though you'd recognise them in the street and give them a cuddle because you think you've met them before. It costs so much more to find a new customer than to retain your current customers. So retention, number 1. Number 2 is listen to the language that you use and the language that your business uses. Your business needs to only use forward-facing, tomorrow-based language. If anybody in your business uses yesterday, the past, or historical behaviour and things that we've done in the past as a frame of reference, they are the problem in your business. It has to change. Otherwise, your business will decline to the point where sale, acquisition, or bankruptcy is the only option. So that's number 2. Listen to the language, change the language, and make the language about tomorrow and today and nothing more. What happened yesterday is irrelevant. It's already happened and you have no control over it. So if any person says, well, for the past 15 years we've done this, they are the problem in your business. Number 3 is at speed, align your products to the customer's wants and needs. I'm experiencing that declines in businesses that are happening rapidly now is where the products serve the customer of yesterday, 2 years ago, and is not matching the wants and needs of the customers today. You have to go and align those products, and you have to do it quickly. You have to stop making excuses about why it should take time. And by the way, by quickly, I mean within the next 30 days, each product needs to be aligned for the customer's wants and needs of tomorrow. How do they want to transact with you? How do they want to communicate with you? In what way? Do they want to pay weekly, monthly, yearly? Do they want instant gratification? And how are you going to deliver that instant gratification? It has to happen fast. And linked to that is you have to execute faster. This new stuff that you need to be doing needs to happen faster. And whatever you think is fast, it needs to be 4 times faster than whatever you think is comfortable. At least 4 times faster. And you have to execute twice as fast as your competition. That means that you're going to be uncomfortable, but so is your competition. So they're going to have to catch up with you. So execute faster, and whatever the blockers are, you need to identify them and physically remove them from your business now. That either needs to tell them that they're no longer responsible for that decision making, or it needs to be that the people beneath them have the power to and are pushed to make decisions now, or if those people who are the blockers aren't willing to adapt their behavior, they need to be removed from your business. The crystal ball exercise I did this morning with the business owners I was talking with, that unless they remove those people blockers now, their business will be bankrupt within 14 months. My question for you is, how long can you bankroll your business without increasing that execution, removing those blocks? The last thing is stop considering the financial modelling that's based on the knowns of yesterday and today, and consider what that modelling can look like tomorrow. We're in a day and age now where I can make $1 million through selling my ideas online, and the only infrastructure I need is my iPhone, the whiteboard behind me, and the office I'm sat in. That's it, nothing more. Everything else I can access almost for free or for less than $200 a month in terms of my overheads. The world has changed. Your financial modelling is broken and is holding you back. You need to understand what the financial modelling of tomorrow is. And in my experience, most academically trained professionals are clueless when it comes to that. Next one is get support from people who will hurt your head. They will physically and mentally challenge you and get coachable and do what they say. How long can your business survive until you make that difference? At the end of the day, if you carry on doing what you're doing, you'll bust anyway. So take the risk now while you've still got some capital to work with and to make that change in your business. Okay, now the last point in this, and this was a conversation, this is the emergency point. This is we are just down here somewhere, and bankruptcy or cheap acquisition by somebody else happens here somewhere. The business closes, it stops trading. Now, a lot of businesses try to do this last point and fail, and because they don't take it seriously enough. The last point is the emergency point. It's the get out of jail free card, and that is that you launch a new commercial venture that may well be owned by you, but in no shape or form other than that ownership is connected to you. No branding, no colours, no trading off our past. We never mention the old one at any point in time in this new venture. It comes in as innovative, disruptive, starting at the start of the sigmoid curve again. Often that means a personnel choice and change, and we empower the people who are the real disruptors in our business to go and do it. But it's not held by any of the previous legacy or brand or anything. And that's your emergency. That's the last place. When you get to there, you are almost at too late. So there we have it. 8 ideas of what to do and steps to follow to solve a decline in success. My advice to you is, if you're struggling to execute on any one of those things now and can't execute all of them in the next 30 days, please get in touch. We will work with you to turn your business around and save your business. The excuse of a recession is just that. It's an excuse. It is not a reason. It is not something you should be holding on to. And remember that the most profitable and richest people in the world make more money in a recession than they do in an economic upturn. Your business should be exactly the same. So that's it. Thanks to the guys I was with this morning for allowing them allowing me to share what it was that we went through this morning. I'll try and keep you up to date with how that moves for them, but I'm positive with 20 years worth of experience doing this that they will turn their business around in the next 30 days. I'm 100% positive of that. Any questions? Send me a message beneath. Mark and I respond to all of them personally. And if you are struggling with any one of those things or all of those things, or struggling with a decline in your success, please get in touch and we'll do everything in our power to ensure that success is your only real opportunity going forwards. Stay well, stay amazing, have a great weekend further, and I'll see you when I see you next. Bye-bye.